Hey, what's going on, guys? We're gonna be doing something a little bit different here. We're gonna be doing a voiceover, so sorry if you get some double audio going on. The original recording didn't get the best audio, but today we're gonna be doing a RHYNIOGNATHA minimum level playthrough of the one of the only two bosses you can do with it, the Manticore. This is gonna be on Gamma, so specifically at the launch of ASA, this might be one of those really helpful videos to have, kind of tucked away for the back. So basically starting off here, I'm just going to whistle everything to follow. Like I had previously said, or into the description, wherever you want to check, we're going to be using level 225 RHYNIOGNATHA, which have roughly between 10 to 12k health, and then 250 to 350 melee, depending on which one you're on. The shooting attack, after a bunch of testing, it's fine. I think you can kind of like gum it up a little bit, but it honestly was just probably easier just to whistle, attack all. Sometimes you get it pinned into the rocks like we kind of did right here, which was really helpful, obviously. If you notice, we actually have two Manticore right here. I was running this obviously local, so we just quick pop into creative mode just so we can take out the second Manticore. It has that glitch sometimes where you have two if you fail the first boss fight. We actually failed this the first time because we used level 100 spawned in. So it spawns in at level 100, then you tame. So they were level 150. We didn't actually lose because everything died. We lost because we lost. We actually lost because everything got knocked out, which was really unfortunate. So I just take out this other one right here because we're not going to fight two Manticore.
Still fighting.
We're actually going back to the boss right now.
Power of editing. We're back.
Okay, so this strat is a little superior to the RG strat just because these are a little bit faster at flying. And their melee is a little bit better. And health out of the box is fantastic compared to the RG, I guess, if you want to get that technical.
Our biggest enemy here is Torpor, for sure.
If you notice we don't have a timer, that's because we use the spawn boss command rather than filling in all the artifacts. Just because we're trying to get this video out sooner rather than, actually going to go get all the artifacts just to summon the boss. Doesn't make actual difference. We are playing on official server settings for this boss fight,
Now we're dead.
so keep that in mind in case of
Come closer.
what settings you play on.
I'll get my shotgun out.
So right as here, we're closing on about half health gone. One of the things I kind of learned is make sure you're whistling attack target and then don't get too close to the ground because the other RHYNIOGNATHA will turn around and, attack whatever attacked you. And that's where we started kind of losing some of the RHYNIOGNATHAs because they were just gaining torpor because they were too busy fighting either rock golems or death worms. I actually really like this strat. We actually had to stop a second here because Blah had lost her RHYNIOGNATHA because it had too much torpor. So we just wanted to call them all over. Then I whistle, attack all on it again. So like I said, we were closing in on half health gone right here. As you can see, my RHYNIOGNATHA has taken like 0 damage, and I don't really have a lot of torpor gain, but you do have to watch out for stam. It's so easy to move around on these things that you kind of forget that stam's a thing. So when we're doing breeding lines, stam might be one of those actually odd scenarios where you want to get some mutations in that. Obviously, if you've seen any other creators' videos, these aren't like your typical breeding lines. You'd have to breed this into probably your Brontos for starting out with ASA or anything else. So it's going to be a little bit different. The way that works though is it doesn't take the actual values from the dinos. It takes the amount of points that go into it. So, you know, if you have 20k health on something or 1000 melee on a Giga, it's not going to be 1000 melee on the RHYNIOGNATHA. It'll be 70 points or whatever it is. I definitely prefer this strat than like a traditional Rex strat or something like that. It was a lot less stressful than having to like constantly wait, like, is this gonna land, is this not, you know, having to bring a bunch of extra shotgun ammo. We did end up bringing shotgun ammo in this just in case we had to, you know, take out the last little bit of it. At this point I wasn't worried. Even if we had lost all of the RHYNIOGNATHA here, we could have easily just taken down the last bit with the shotgun. You typically get 15 to 20 minutes for these fights and we're only 6 minutes in.
Do you think this is more efficient than other methods?
I think it's less of a headache because you're not waiting on you're not waiting for it to land if it, like in that case of like a Rex. Like I said before, these are all level 225, 10 to 12k health. Some has that, some actually have, you know, 8 to 9k health depending on how they spawned in. Somewhere between 250 to 350 melee.
Whistle attack.
We're good.
Well, I got trashed. Oh, I keep getting trashed.
These things are definitely going to be big early game, especially on official PvE, because they're kind of like it's a mech without having a mech, which is going to be really, really nice to be able to carry stuff around on your base. Plus, they're just so strong. And being able to carry Rexes is pretty cool. If you have any more questions about gameplay like this, we're actually going to be doing a series where we go through the bare minimum of every boss fight, especially before the launch of ASA. So that, you know, day 1 or 2 you're able to get into that boss fight and do it without having, you know, to wait for those boss level Rex lines or Theria lines. We have some cool videos coming out. There we go. We beat it. Like I said, RHYNIOGNATHA 225. This is the bare minimum basically to beat the Manticore on official servers. Roughly 10 to 12k health and then 250 to 350 melee. All of them had primitive saddles also, so no having to wait for any blueprints. Thanks.